everybody, it's Rob Tui here with a Fantasy Grounds video showing the coding effects in Unity, and I'm here with Rune and Lady Shell from Fantasy Grounds College. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Hello.
Hey there.
All right, so we've decided ahead of time that we were going to show these three specific codes and how they work. And actually there's four, but one of them is a healing potion. So we're going to show you the difference between the codes if you drag them in from the player's handbook or the SRD, and the way I have them set up for functionality with the coding. And we're going to also show you how they work. And so as we go through this, all the questions about how this stuff works should be answered. But if I forget anything, or if I screw something up along the way, I've got Leroon here to tell me to check that. And then when we get all the way done, if we miss anything, Lady Shell will let us know. So this video should be a complete tutorial on how the codes work. And I'm imagining it'll take us 10 or 15 minutes. So let's see. So what I have here is on the left, I have the coded version of this of some examples. We've got Barbarian Rage, Rogue Sneak Attack, the Hex Spell, and the Healing Potion. And on the right, I have the Player's Handbook version, or the SRD version, of those same things. And there is no Healing Potion because there is no code for that. The only way you can get it is if you make it yourself or get the ones I have. We have the Combat Tracker with the two versions in it and a Skeleton to fight. A Skeleton has 999 hit points. And, of course, we've got the map here to show you. So let's go ahead and we'll just start at the top with Barbarian Rage. Now, in the player's handbook, if you copy that class feature over, you obviously have the description, but there's no coding whatsoever for it, so it doesn't give you any coding. Now, my version gives you a code, which I will apply and show you how it works. And when I click on this effect, it's going to apply to the coded version down here. And you'll see that it gives you a label, Rage. It will give this character advantage on strength checks and advantage on strength saves. It'll give him 2+ damage to any melee attack. And it'll also allow the character to resist, take half damage on bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing, which are all the elements of Rage. If you don't have this code, the Dungeon Master has to do all that stuff, and or the player has to do all that stuff manually. So let's just check that. So if this character's raging and he goes to do a dex check, that's just regular, right? But if he does a strength check, he's got advantage. Boom. So there you go. Same thing with the saves. Con save, regular, but strength, he's got advantage, right? So there you go. All done for you. If he makes an attack, he's going to have 2 damage. So if he attacks the skeleton with his club, let's just say that he hits and does damage to the skeleton, you'll see that he rolls a 2, but he actually does 4 damage because it is added 2, right, for that. Now he actually did 8 damage. Why is that? Oh, it's because it's because the skeleton is vulnerable to bludgeoning damage. That's why we hit him. So that's kind of cool that it showed that worked. He rolled a 2, add the 2 automatically, and then double it because Fantasy Grounds knows that the skeleton is vulnerable to bludgeoning, which means he takes double damage. And then the other thing is he's resistant. So if the skeleton attacks him, then he will do the damage here. And you will see that he rolled a 5. Plus 2 is 7 for his modifier. But resistant, half of 7 is 3.5, round down is 3. So there you go. He took the 3 damage. So all of that is automated, and it's super wonderful. And I've basically coded out every spell, every class feature, every race trait, every feat, and every item in the game. So it's all there for you to get if you so choose to do. All right, so that's Rage. How'd Rage look to you guys? That was pretty good, huh?
Yep.
All right.
Indeed.
All right, so let's do Sneak Attack. Now, Sneak Attack, if you copy from the Player's Handbook or the SRD, they do have a code. And you will notice a difference though. If you do the one that they have, you'll see here that it puts the damage 1d6 on there. But guess what? As turns go by, it doesn't tell you what that is. If it comes back to it, then you're going to be like, what is that? But mine, a little extra touch from my version, which is it gives you a label. So it tells you sneak attack, so that when you look away or look back, or the DM forgets or something, or the game gets interrupted and you come back the next day and you're like, what's this damage 1d6? Well, now it says sneak attack, so you know. And it is set to expire in the next roll. So let's show an example of that. Let's say that my guy takes his club and he's going to damage the skeleton, and he happens to have, we'll just say that this person's next to him, so sneak attack is legal. So we'll take the now I can roll it on the combat tracker, or I can roll it on the character. So let me just do that. So let's roll this damage over here, and you see that it rolled the D4, which the club has, but it also added a D6 for the sneak attack. And again, vulnerable to so he got his 7 for the sneak attack, total of 7, and then damage it doubles because he's vulnerable, because he's a skeleton. He's only made of bones. So there you go. So that's sneak attack. Next example we have here is Hex. Now, Hex is one of the most complicated codes. It's not really that complicated, but it's a complicated coding, and I'll explain how this works. Now, the PHB or the SRD version just has the damage, and that's all that you get. So with mine, you not only get the label, you also get the concentration, the C to make con checks if you get damaged while you're concentrating on that spell. You also get the disadvantage on checks that you can apply to the NPC for each of the 6 attributes that you might want to have them get disadvantage on. When you hex somebody, you get to tell them, disadvantage on strengths or intelligence, whatever it is. It also has the damage that you can just roll as damage in case that comes up. In very rare occasions it does, so it's there. And also, all of my spells and items and class feats, race traits, whatever, they all have labels that have so rather than over here you're just looking at the word hex, in here you're looking at it on your character sheet, and it's a bonus action, it's got a 90-foot range, and it's a concentration spell. So much more information available to you as a player to look at. When you imagine having a list of like 20 of these, and you're like, I can't remember, is that 60 feet, is it 90 feet, is it 30 feet, is it concentration, is it not concentration? All that's sort of a little help for you to do. So let's hex a guy. So we're going to hex the skeleton. Now, this is what I meant by being complicated. You're going to apply the hex, one of these 6 hex codes. Let's just say we're going to hex his strength. So I'm going to take that effect, and I'm going to drag it. I can either drop it here, or I can drop it right on the skeleton. Either way, so I'm going to drop it here. So now he's hexed for his disadvantage on strength checks. And if we try to make a strength check with this guy, then if we make a dex check, it's going to be normal. But if we make strength, he's going to be disadvantaged, right? So it does work. Now, then you have to apply the actual hex code to yourself. So it says self there. All you have to do is click the button, and anything that says self is going to go right on you, so it appears here. And then how that comes into play is if I attack the skeleton, he is going to get an extra D6. So you see he got his D4 plus a D6. Now the cool thing is, if you attack anybody else, like let's say I attack my partner here by accident, there's no D6. If I attack myself, there's no D6. But if I attack the skeleton, but I did make a concentration check because I have the C, I have the hex spell. So if I take damage, I make that concentration spell. So you just saw it here. I'll do it again. Damage myself again. If I fail, which I did, hex goes away. So there you go. That's how that works. Also, when the hex code comes off my character, it also comes off the monster. It's automatic. So that's awesome. The last thing we wanted to show you guys was the healing potion. Again, if you have a healing potion in your inventory, like I have it here, and here's the potion of healing over here. Putting it in your inventory does not give you the codes. All of these codes that are on the character sheet, I don't think we need the map anymore. You would actually go and get out of the spell list. So, you've got my modules that has class features, feats. Here, I guess I could clear this out so that it's showing the whole list. Race traits. It's somehow not doing it. Oh, there we go. And then we've got spells too. If I can click on that, if I know how to use a mouse. There you go. So all the spells, everything is there. And then you would just, like I say, I was using this anti-magic field. You just grab that and drag it over, and it puts it there. So I'll get rid of it so we're not confused by that. It was that eighth level. Oh my God! Don't get in that guy's way. He'll mess you up. Also, you have to know how to delete stuff. So learn how to use Fantasy Grounds. That's what I need to do. Okay, so here is the healing spell. It is coded, and all you do, like I'm damaged 7 points here. So I'm going to take this 2d4 plus 2 healing, drag it over, drop it on, and I could have done that on the map, and I healed all 7 of my points. So there you go. I actually rolled 7. I rolled 5 plus 2, 7. So there you go. And that's how that works. I think I'm done yapping. So now you guys would be a good time to... Oh, and let me mention, guys, I should have probably mentioned it up front, but I'm glad I remembered to do it now. We are showing this in Unity, and Unity, of course, is still in beta. We're recording this in mid-April of 2020. So if you're watching this video and Fantasy Grounds hasn't fully released beta yet, fully released the Unity full version yet, you might run into some errors. But we have not found, in any case with my coding modules, that there have been any mistakes. They all seem to work perfectly. So what about you guys? Anything I left out? Anything I need to say? Anything we want to add?
Sure. So, when somebody buys these, where do they put them?
Oh, very
Like,
good.
if I buy it.
Okay, so let's actually show that. So here, here's the rods. Let's go to the all codes bundle here. So let's say you came and you wanted to buy all the codes that I have. You could buy the whole bundle. And these are just on the DM's Guild. All you have to do is search for it. Search for Fantasy Grounds codes on the DM's Guild. You'll find it. But we'll put links in the description, so you'll definitely be able to do that. So you could buy the whole package if you want, or say you just wanted the spells, or say you just wanted, maybe you only care about potions. So you just you can go to click on just the potions, and you can get just that. But these do come with a README text file. Everything that I make comes with a README text file, which I can show you. And it tells you where to put them in your... Whoops, wrong. That's wrong. Let's go here. It tells you where to put your Fantasy Grounds mod files. So you need to drop them directly in your modules folder. Now, your modules folder might be different if you're using Fantasy Grounds Classic as opposed to Fantasy Grounds Unity, and again different if you're using Steam, and again different if you're a Mac user, whatever. It might be different. But the way you can usually find that really simply, here's Fantasy Grounds Classic, is you just click on this folder here, and it'll take you to that area. And then you can just go to your modules folder, click on that, and dump any MOD files right in there. And that's how you do it. If you're buying somebody's files that are extensions, you do that the same, only drop them in the extensions folder. So that's all you need to. It's pretty simple. If you're brand new, if you just got Fantasy Grounds and you never saw this before, it might be a little intimidating. But if you just find that folder, and anybody on the Discord or the forums or whatever can help you if you forget. But that is how you install those. And then once you do that, After you dump any .mod files in your modules folder, when you open up Fantasy Grounds and click on the library down here and click on modules here, right here, all of those modules in your library will appear. And it's going to take a minute for me because I have like a couple hundred, so you might not have that many. Here are the ones that are currently open. I have my coding effects and then the player's handbook. But your data module activation library will open, and then you'll see everything that you have, and you can scroll down. Again, a lot of these you see my logo on it, but here's all the rest of the stuff, and you go, oh, I want to open, Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and you just click on it and load it, and that's how you open stuff in the library. What else did I forget?
I have a question. So let's say a new book comes out. What then?
A new book from
Wizards of the Coast.
Oh, if a new book comes out from Wizards of the Coast, you just buy it from their store and it'll appear in your account. Or if you're buying it on Steam, it'll just appear in your account. So it'll also show up right here in the same area.
Okay, but I mean, are you going to add the codes from the new book, or how do
I misunderstood your question. Yes. So all of the codes that are available on the Dungeon Masters Guild that I sell have every official WotC source that's allowed to be sold on the DM's Guild is in there. Now, if it's UA or third party, then it won't be in there because I only do official Wizards of the Coast release, and I don't do any of the Unearthed Arcana material because they change and screw with that, and then until it's finally released, and in some cases they never release it. So I wait till there's an actual book that comes out. But every splat book that comes out, Xanathar's Guide, all of a sudden I can't think of any books top of my head. But yeah, I do them all. And if you buy the codes, I do the upgrades, and you don't have to pay extra money. So henceforth, as long as I'm still alive, unless I get hit by a bus, you'll always get the updates. And prices on those coding packages do go up. If I add mini codes, I do increase the price over time. Like they cost a little bit more now than they did when I first started doing them. But as long as you own it already, the price increase won't matter to you because if you already own it, you'll just get the updates for free. So basically, the sooner you buy, the less it might cost you to do so. And of course, if you buy in the packages, you get a discount. So if you buy them single, if you buy them in the bundles, you obviously save, depending on which one you buy, you save either 15 or 30%.
So how does one keep up on the changes? So you have a link, is that right?
I do. Any of the coding, whoops, I clicked on the wrong thing. Any of the coding things that you buy, let's go to the reference manual here. In the reference manual, there's obviously instructions, and here's the what I was referring to earlier about the codes and what they mean in the titles. But if you go down to updates, it'll tell you that whenever I make an update, you can see the update live in my channel on my Discord. So that's a way to keep on top of it. And I put the date and the channel. I'll show that on screen here in my Discord channel. DM's Guild updates. So here's lately these are the changes I've made, and like what date. So like just yesterday I made we have Sirenscape sound links. I made a change on that. I made a change in the spells, and these changes that I make might be like a typo or somebody catches a thing that nobody's ever seen, and they send me a private message. Hey Rob, I noticed that you forgot the C for concentration on this one spell. And I go look, and sure enough, it's not there, so I fix it and I update it. So I pretty much try to stay on top of that. The other thing is that in the credits, you can always find ways to get a hold of me. And, my Discord has about 800 people in it, and it's just people 24/7 talking about Fantasy Grounds and especially Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. So if you want to come in there, and then I've got Patreon, and I've got Twitch channel, and I've got the YouTube channel, and I've got Twitter, and I've got my website. So it's all here. And if you click on any one of those, if you want to go to my Patreon page, you just click on it. It opens it up. So, people don't have to do that, but if they want to find out more about me, And actually, somebody mentioned to me, I think it was just earlier today. Oh yeah, it is here. I thought it wasn't here. But you can also click here, more from Rob on the DMs Guild, and it'll take you back to DMs Guild, and it'll just list out everything that I've ever created, like 250 things. So
Nice.
whatever you want to look at, you can.
So if I go into your or your creations on the DMs Guild, and I already bought, like, let's say I purchased the potions. If I decide to buy like the whole package, what happens then?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. So if you're like, let's do the exact example you just gave, the potions. So here's the potions. Now let's say you bought that. Let's say you paid $2 for the potions. Now if you decided, hey, I want that whole package, which I think is called the items package. I probably could have done better.
Items coding.
Yeah, it is. It's coding, items. I could search by my name, but here it is right here. So if anything you already own, it's gonna give you credit for that. So if you already had bought the potions, it'll take this $1.70. Now this is a discounted price. It's 15% off, so it's normally the whole package would cost you 31, but you're only paying 26.35. But it would take that $1.70 out, so you'd only pay 24.65 or whatever the math is. But so a good example of that is I, of course, own all of these, so my package price is 0 because I already own everything. So it does give you credit, and it tells you previous purchaser 26.35 discounted, and down here the whole price is 26.35. So it gave me everything off because I already own it. But yeah, and that goes for anybody that's on the DMs Guild. If you see something on the DMs Guild and you're looking at it, whatever it is, doesn't even have to be mine. It can be anybody's. If it is involved inside of a package, you can scroll down and the packages will be here. Now in this case, I think they only list 4 because that's probably in like 6 different packages. But anyway, you can go down and check. You're like, oh, here's all the codes. Here's everything. Here's the class features, the feats, the effects. The race traits, the spells, and then all 9 items. There's one for each different type of item. Adventuring gear, armor, potions, rings, rods, staffs, wands, weapons, and wondrous items. And anybody that wants to check this out for free, the rods themselves are actually pay what you want. So you can download the rods. No money. You can just type in 0 there. Go check out. And if you like it, come back and give $1 or give 20, give 100, whatever you want. It's fine. But that'll give you a taste of it, because I think the rods. I think in all of 5th edition D&D, there's only 9 rods. I think that's all there is. Or I'm sorry, there's only 9 rods that need coding. So other rods might exist, but they don't need coding, right?
Yeah, probably one of them's a rod of 7 parts. So.
Yeah. So I have. And I did this starting in early 2017, I believe. I've coded in Fantasy Grounds every feat, every race trait, every class feature, every spell, and every item that you need. It's all there. And that's the thing. That's my thing. That's what I do.
All right, one last question before
sir.
This goes on for too long. If one wanted to learn how to do this, or how did you learn how to do it?
Oh man, that's an excellent question. Okay. So you can go to, and I think there's even a way to get to it here. Yeah, it's this. You can go to the Fantasy Grounds wiki, and how did I do that? I went to the effects, the little zombie figure up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I also have another coding thing. It's a separate thing. I'm glad you mentioned this. I'll answer your question, and then I'll also show this other thing, which I think, and this is actually, the thing I'm about to show is my most popular seller. It's sold more than anything else. It is the conditions and effects. And so what that is, yeah, this is more for DMs, because once it loads, it's got over 200, almost 300 effects in it. And this is more for DMs. Players can use it, but it's more geared towards DMs. because you might need to apply either to a player or to an NPC as you're playing a code to automate stuff. Like a good example is exhaustion, or the first one's up here, taking their AC up or down 1 or 2 or up to 5. You might need to give someone advantage on their death saves. I mean, every code you can think of that you would need is all right in here. Regen, you can apply regeneration, and you can change the number. You can type 10 or 5 there. So they're all there. But how I got to that wiki effects page is right on this effects, which again is this zombie character up here in the upper right. You click on this question mark right here, and that takes you right to that page. And this page, the 5e effects for advanced automation, is how I learned to do all this stuff, and how, for example, you as the user could also learn how to do stuff and you're like, well, Rob, you've done all the codes. Why would I need to know this? You've already done everything. But maybe you're playing a homebrew game, or maybe you're playing something that has a spell or a magic item that you made up, and it does all kinds of crazy shit that nobody knows about. Well, you can go down and you can learn how to put these codes in, and then it starts getting, as we scroll down here, you'll start to see what all the parameters are, and how to use the different code types, what they do, and then down here at the very bottom is examples of some things. And so in 2015 is when I found Fantasy Grounds. So I started to play heavy and started to, got my Discord server, got some games together, got some campaigns. And then as we would play, we would say, oh, you know what would be awesome is if they had an automated code for this. And we would go, hey, I think they do. Let's go figure that out. And we would stop the game, and then I would come over here and I would code bless, right? And I'd be like, this is how it works. Oh my God. And then I literally just went through every spell, every feat, every class feature, every race trait, and then the next year, every single item in the Dungeon Master's Guide that needed coding. And I just figured it out and I made them. And this is
Nice.
pretty much how I make my living now, but it was thousands of hours of work for me to do this. And not one person yet has said, hey, Rob, I bought your codes. What a ripoff. Not even one person on earth has ever said that to me. Matter of fact, people say they're really great, that they help their games and improve those games. And you are constantly telling me, Leroon, you got to raise your prices. You are the ones that tell me. But anyway, for those people that want to learn, you can dissect what I've done and compare it. And let's say you made a giant slayer, but instead of maybe for giants, it's for trolls, and you can go put that in there instead. And maybe you're going to make it 4d6 instead. Whatever you guys are doing, you can come and learn how to do these effects. So that's
all right.
it.
Yeah, I noticed that the conditions and effects, the module you made there, is very handy for NPCs that don't have all their traits coded.
Yes, that
so
is
if you're
true.
so if you're fighting with a paladin, half his stuff isn't going to be on the traits area coded. So this would be a way to get through that.
Right. And lots of specific things and also generic things, like warding flare, rage is in here, bless and bane are in here, sneak attack is here. Also I said exhaustion before, and exhaustion, I think all levels of exhaustion through 1 through 5, because if you have 6, you're just dead, so it's over. But it's even there. It's even there if you want to put it on the character just to signify. But there's a note, so if you put exhaustion 1 on there, disadvantage on ability checks, it will actually it will automate that for you. If the person does, here, I'll show you. Let's give exhaustion 1. Whoops, hello. Let's give exhaustion 1 to this guy. And it's disadvantage on ability checks, right? So let's see, do we believe that? Let's find out. Let's do an ability check. I'm going to do... Oh, I don't have ability checks. Oh, you know why? No, it's skills. It's skills. I'm going to do a deception check. Let's do it. Oh, I got disadvantage. See? Because I'm exhausted.
Too tired.
I'm too tired. So anyway, that's there, and that is I mean, I sell a lot of the coding packages, but this particular conditions and effects is that is the top seller. Do I see that where I can just click on it real fast here? I can't. Editions. X. And I'm sure I don't even know how to spell the word and, so that's a problem. I can code, I just can't spell. Conditions and effects for Fantasy Grounds. Here, it's $5, and it gives you, I think it says 175. I thought it was 275. Anyway, there's a lot. And it gives you a couple examples here, and it shows you what it looks like in Fantasy Grounds. And there's videos. And by the way, we're doing this video, but most of my products also have individual videos that talk just about that product. So if you ever go to anything you see with a purple Rob Toohey cover, that's my signature, my purple cover. If you see any of that, you can pretty much rest assured there's a video down here that explains it, so you can always check that.
And what about Lady Shell? Do you have any questions or comments?
No, I just wanted to say if anyone wants to learn anything, they can come to fantasygroundscollege.net and sign in and into our Discord, and you can learn too.
That's right. They teach classes on combat, on DMing, on character creation, map making, on 6,000 other things I am unable to think of right now. And how many people, as of April 2020, you guys have how many people there? 8,000?
7 something now.
Seven almost 8,000. So yeah. So like 10 times the number of my Discord. And my Discord's been going since 2016, I think. But yeah, so I encourage you guys, especially, I mean, I love it if you spend money and buy my codes, but if you watch this video and, you know, you aren't able to afford it at this point, or just, you know, don't want to do it or whatever, that's fine, but you should definitely check into it. And you can do it all manually yourself, but after you do 4 of them, you're going to be like, yeah, okay, what's that link for Rob's stuff again? Because it was, I tried to calculate it, and after I got to 1,000 hours, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to count this anymore. I mean, I didn't count it. I didn't have presence of mind to count the number of hours I was spending on it as I was doing it. I just tried to go back and think about how long it took me.
Yep.
But this was over, yeah, it was over all the stuff I've done just with the coding stuff was over a 2-year period.
And just as a little hint, if you watch the All Things Fantasy Grounds show, not every show, but damn near every show, he gives away something. Now, it isn't necessarily this, but he has given away a dozen or more of these
yeah,
a
if
year.
you guys want to join us on Sunday nights on the Rob Toohey Twitch channel. I think, I can't remember how long it's been, but we have given away a prize every show for at least all but 2 or 3 of them, and we've done 110 shows.
Yeah.
And sometimes we give away not just a prize or 2, but we give away, like, I think our record's like $2,000 some worth of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because we go a couple times a year, we go crazy.
All right. So is that all you got, or do you got anything else, or?
I think we've covered it. We showed them what we wanted to show them. And I'll make sure that when the YouTube video's up, we'll have the appropriate links down there for them, for everything. Lady Shell, did we miss anything? Is that it?
I didn't hear anything or see anything that you missed.
You're Sergeant Schultz from the old Hogan's Hero Show. You know nothing. I
see nothing.
Very good. All right. Well, thanks, guys, for being here with me. And thanks, everybody, for watching. And if you do have questions of any kind, rather than put comments in the YouTube, just come on over to our Discord where there's people hanging out there 24/7. They can answer you right now instead of waiting for me to respond on YouTube. But hope everybody enjoyed. Hope everybody learned something. And until next time, good gaming, everyone. All right.